LEGO review, but a LEGO adjacent review. Today, we are going to be looking at the TCG Customs Lightsaber, the LEGO. Now, this is not a sponsored video. This is something that I chose to pick up of my own accord. And as you can see, their lightsaber here is modeled after the age-old LEGO lightsaber piece that LEGO has been using since 1999 for almost every character that wields a lightsaber in Star Wars. Now this saber is pretty neat. It's actually fairly heavy. Definitely thought that it was going to be a lot lighter, but the hilt here is definitely a lot heavier than I thought it would be, and that's just the hilt. Like, that's not the battery and the internal workings here. Those are all pretty light. Yeah, so far I really like this. There are a few complaints that I have. Mostly, it took almost, or it took a little over a month and a half to get here, which wasn't great, especially because their website promises shipping between 7 and 14 days, so just know that that may not be the case, and you may have to send them an email or two to get them to finally ship it out to you. But as far as the quality of work goes, it's really good. There is two buttons here. There's the lower button and then the upper button. And the lower button here is, it's the only button that does anything. The upper button here doesn't do anything, which is a little bit of a problem for me, because I understand that with how simplistic the LEGO lightsaber is, that it would be really hard to program buttons and stuff into it. And so, you know, I understand that you're gonna have to break up the more solid looking LEGO lightsaber hilt with some buttons, and that's fine, but I don't understand why there's a second button here, because it doesn't do anything. And it does take away from the look, and I almost wish that they had some function with it, because that's another mild complaint that I have with this lightsaber, is that the bottom button here is the only one that does anything, and the saber has a bunch of different functions which are all great. If I can, there we go. The only issue is that because it's that one button, so many of the functions are determined by how long or short you hold that button for. For example, when it's in the on position, like I have it here, if you press it once, it flashes, and when the noise is on, because right now I've got it on mute mode, but it makes a blaster sound effect, so as if you were deflecting a blaster bolt. And then if you hold that bottom button there for, I believe, 2 seconds, oh, nope, So this is another mode. I'm not sure if it picks up on the camera super well, but it's more of a strobe mode. When the sound is on, it makes like dragging noise as if your saber is locked with another saber, or if you're, pretending to cut through a door or something. And so that mode is like a 1.5 second mode, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Again, it's really hard to gauge because you just sort of have to hold down the button and hope that you get to the right function that you were looking for. Because there we go. Now I got to the function where I can choose a different color. So I think that's 3 seconds. 3 or 2. I can't remember right now what their little informative pamphlet says. But they've got quite a large variety of different colors, and I know it's a little hard to see on the camera, and so you can kind of see more in the reflection of the light on my shirt. But, we've got yellow, purple, or I guess magenta, white, red, blue, more of a solid standard blue color, yellow, more of a turquoise blue, lighter blue, green, and then pink-ish color, and then I guess this is more of an orange, whereas the other one is yellow. Yeah, and then, yeah, we've completed the cycle. But so overall, I mean, I really like that they have all of these different colors that you can choose from. A cool function of the blade is, so this is a big, like plastic rod. It feels almost like glass, just in my hand here, but it is a lot more durable, for sure, than glass would be, because it's made to be able to hit things. Now, I don't know how hard I would trust it. I definitely wouldn't use this if I were to use anything to hit anything. I wouldn't be using this. But, I mean, it's a pretty good saber. I do kind of wish that there at the end, you can kind of see it. Let's see if I turn off the saber. I don't know if you can see it much better or not, but the end there is rounded, which I understand they probably do for most of their custom lightsabers. I do wish, though, that on this one they had made it flat. I think that would have been a really neat detail for the Lego. But ultimately, not too bad. When it's off is when you can change the sound. So if you hold it for, I believe, 1 second.
Volume.
So right now we're on low volume mode. So it's got this hissing noise, and so you turn it off. So that is one of the complaints that I have, is that low volume is not very low, and we'll turn it on to high volume here. So this is high volume mode. Here's the sound of the blaster shot. And then there's the dragging / lock. So yeah, I don't know. It's not super great. So yeah, we'll switch it back to mute mode so that we don't accidentally turn on those noises. I mean, I think they're a cool function. I just wish that volume control was, better, because I can't seem to notice very much of a difference between low volume and high volume mode. Again, could have been a really neat function for the two buttons to, once you enter in volume mode, to be able to go higher or lower. But once again, that second button up there is superfluous. Damn it. Whatever that word is. However you choose to pronounce it. Not the way that I pronounced it, that's for sure. But overall, it's pretty neat. Let me go ahead and hold the button down to get it to turn off, because this is the only other real noise effect that it does no matter what mode you're in. So whether or not you've got it on mute mode, high mode, or low mode, it will always make this noise whenever it goes into deep sleep mode. So let's see if we can't.
The resistance is dead! The war is over!
Yeah, that's the audio that it plays. Which, I don't know, I'm sure some people might find that neat. I find it a little cringe, if I'm going to be completely honest. But overall, I really do like this saber. It comes with a small little Allen wrench. I'm not sure if you can even see that on the camera because of how small it is. Hopefully you can see that. But if not, I mean, that's not too important that you see it or not. Because it's just used, you stick it in these two holes. For me, they're on the front and back of the hilt. I don't know, they may be different for you, but you can use them to loosen a couple screws down in there to remove the blade, which is what I'm choosing to do, because I want to display this in my Star Wars display case as it's becoming. And so in order to do that, I built a little display stand. And let me go ahead and reset the camera so that we can take a closer look at that. So there you can get a pretty good look at this little stand that I made for this saber. Along the bottom there you can see many different lightsaber colors or hilt colors. I believe I've got all but 2 on there, which I may expand the stand and include those. I know there's a bright light orange lightsaber hilt that came in the new Titanic that I don't have. I may pick that one up. I believe it's an old light gray hilt that I need to just go through my lightsaber hilt collection and actually find one. For me, especially on old light gray and new light gray, I have a really hard time telling the difference between those two. Like old brown and new brown, I can recognize. Old dark gray and new dark gray, I can recognize, but old light gray and new light gray are tough for me. But originally I did build this to have that simple 1x4 gap between each of these arches. And then when I got the saber, because it was bigger than I thought it would be, I did have to expand it to have an extra stud space in the middle there. And so I used some simple jumper pieces. But if we go ahead and we put the saber, we go ahead and take that and we put it on the stand. Then you can see there that it fits quite nicely. Not too much of a gap between either of the edges. And then let's go ahead and just reposition this so that you get a better angle on it. And yeah, that's all in focus. But so yeah, overall I'd say that this is a pretty good saber. I don't really buy too many of these like proper lightsabers, I guess. And in fact, this is the first one that I bought, just because I'm mostly into Lego and then into Star Wars, and I figured that this was a good investment for me, something that I would really enjoy having. And so far I do. So if you liked the video, remember to drop a like, leave me a comment saying your thoughts. I'd love to hear from the people who watch my videos. And remember to click the subscribe button. I will see you next time. Until then, bye bye.